that has the coaching experience. Why hasn't anybody attempted to even hire Byron Leftwich? It's not like he doesn't have the experience.
Brian Clark mentioned that Phillip Rivers is getting interviews, and Byron Leftwich, who coached Tom Brady, who won a Super Bowl, I think he did, as
Yeah,
a
he did.
coordinator, and he's not getting entertained by anybody. Apparently, his name has not come up in any interviews.
None.
What what did I tell y'all?
It's always it's
Always.
always racism
It's
because
always
it makes absolutely no sense. Philip Rivers did.
meritocracy, though, right? That's why we need DEI. Welcome. This is the Between Brothers podcast, where we bring you real talk, authentic takes, and laughs on sports, pop culture, and life. I'm your host, the Duke of Debonair's Lando, along with my brother Zero, who we call the Chancellor, who we know as a champion, with the Homer Simpson fit, top four greatest cartoon character of all time, and he's not 2 through 4. How was your week, Zero?
It was pretty good. Finished finished training. So so back home. Um when I did my test, I think I'll let you know when it came to identification. The time it gave me an hour and 30 minutes to finish. It took me 18. I was not playing. And the 100 questions, they gave you 3 hours to complete. I finished that in 40 something minutes. I was like, I am not playing. I was like, the sooner I get this stuff done, the sooner I can get out on the road. Because I'm okay with the drive, but you never know when you're gonna run into traffic and be sitting there stuck. So so was like other than that, um yeah, other than the testing and passing and getting ready, getting ready for this new chapter. Everything is all ship shape.
That's good, man. That's good. Happy for you there. My week was, well, we were supposed to have this winter storm here in Virginia. No such thing happened. So I had to work from my house on Saturday. And so everybody's like, oh, yeah, you get to work from home. That's something I never want to do. And didn't enjoy it when I was doing it. Something I never want to do. Like, job was telling me, like, yo, you gotta, like, you don't have to get dressed, get out of bed, this and you just gotta go get out of bed and go to the desk and this that, and the other. I'm like, bro, what makes y'all think I value that? Oh, I'm so happy I get to work in my underwear. That's what y'all think I live for. And so I'm like, and so the Duchess was like, yo, like make sure that the kids stay quiet and this and the other. I said, I ain't about to do that. What I look like telling my kids they gotta stay quiet in their house so I can listen to these dumbass people on the phone all day. Which I didn't have any bad customers. That was a good thing. That was a good thing. The Lord protected me on that because I probably would have snapped on somebody quickly, swiftly, decisively. But but yeah, I was just like, I wasn't hired to work from home, so I'm not about to make it convenient for them. Like that's just, I'm just not thinking about that. Now, if that was my job, like that, I was hired to do so. Yeah, if y'all thought, and then the thing was, my shift, there was gonna be no snow. Like the time that the snow was supposed to fall was gonna be hours after I got off.
Yeah, but it was supposed to start at 11 p.m.
I get off at 6:30, people. So yeah, nah. So for everybody who's listening, share this podcast with as many people as possible. So if I can work at home like I am right now with this podcast, I don't have to do all this. I don't have to be pissed off. I don't have to listen to people. So I was like, no, I'm not about to tell my kid now. And there were times where Coco Puff was playing and Mace was playing and saying things of that nature in the background, just washing machine going on in the background, all that other stuff. I didn't care. Didn't care one bit. Nobody asked about it, and if they did, I would have been like, "It's none of your business." What's that got to do with with the services you call it for? Don't worry about what I got going on over here. But yeah, so and this morning or afternoon, me and the Duchess went to the gym. I didn't do nothing there. It was all her. We all focused on her. She wanted to do lower body. She was excited about two machines, the hack squat and the I forget what it's called, but you do like it's like you do bridges with it though.
Yeah, yeah, it's just the damn, I forgot what the exercise was called.
No, well the exercise is called bridges, but I don't know what the machine is called.
Hip thrust machine.
Okay, so so after she got off them joints, she was like, yeah, nah. She was not. Especially the hip thrust machine. This because when she saw it, she was like, "Oh my god, I always wanted to use this." When she got off of it, I ain't see her walk away from a machine so fast in my life. So that was fun. But yeah, no, she did her thing. She said her legs were sore, so that was good. She works out sparingly. Not saying that those who don't know who we are or maybe listen to it the first time. Not saying that my wife is out of shape or any. Well, actually, technically, she is out of shape, but she's not overweight. So she's somebody who doesn't pick up one of the lucky ones who don't pick up weight very easily. Um, but yeah, man, that's been the week pretty much. So let's start Let's start. The game is going on right now, the NFC Championship game. The AFC
Hmm.
Championship is over. I don't know why I always thought that maybe do they alternate it or something, or it just depends on what game might be better that they schedule it later.
Um, I think they alternated.
Okay, because I was like, well, I feel like every season until this season, the AFC Championship game was at night. Actually, that game might be almost over.
Yeah, it's 4:21 left, and the Seattle's up 31-27.
Oh, it's still 31-27. Come on, Rams. I think that's who I predicted when the playoffs started, right? Rams and Patriots.
I think so. We had to go back and look.
Yeah. So I think the Rams will pull that one off. But anyways, with that being said, the NFL playoffs going on right now. We have the NFL awards show coming up next week. So we got to get some predictions in with that. I don't remember the preseason predictions we made. Um, I don't. The only one I remember saying Lamar Jackson should be MVP again. Of
Hmm.
course, he got hurt, and I think that might have been the only one I remember off the
Yeah,
top of my head.
mine was Trevor Lawrence being comeback player of the year.
I don't even think he's a candidate this year, is he?
He is.
He is okay. All right, well, let's get to it. Let's start with let's start with the one that people care about the least, Coach of the Year. Um, who are the who are the five best candidates, and then we can just go off of who we think is going to win.
All right, so Liam Cohen, Jacksonville, Ben Johnson, Chicago, Mike McDonald, Seattle, Kyle Shanahan, San Fran, and Mike Vrabel, New England.
So, in my opinion, it's a two-man race, and that's Mike McDonald and Mike Vrabel.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it has to, in my opinion, it has to go to Vrabel just because New England was a 4-13 team the year before. But Mike McDonald, what he's done, matter of fact, Sam Darnold should probably get just as much credit. He's led back-to-back teams to 14-win seasons. So, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and people was like, oh, it's because it's the Jets franchise, which I think part of it is a thing. But I'm like, y'all acting like these guys left the Jets and immediately became good. That's not what happened. They had multiple stops of patheticness before they got to the right system that made them flourish. Like, let's stop that narrative now.
Yeah,
Um,
because Darnold was in Carolina. Let's not forget he was in Carolina and lost his job.
so, um, so I'm going Mike Vrabel, and it's because of that. And ironically, the both of them, you know, we'll find out in the next, let's say, 15 minutes of actual time. Both of them may end up being in the Super Bowl. And also, you know, even though Vrabel had the two seed technically, you know, they, I thought they were the best team, um, the better team between them and the Broncos. So, so yeah, so that's where I'm going with that with that team or with that award. Who you got?
You already know I'm going to be a homer. I got Liam Cohen, first rookie coach in NFL history to have 12 or more wins. Yeah, he brought a Jacksonville team from 4-13 to completely flip the record. And, down the stretch had Trevor Lawrence playing the best he's ever played. So is me being a homer, but you know to accomplish that is it's really good. So that's who I'm gonna go with.
Got it. So let's go to comeback player of the year.
All right, the candidates are Stephon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, Dak Prescott.
Hmm. Why is Christian McCaffrey a candidate for this award every year?
I don't know. I swore that he finished the year last year, unless when he came back he got hurt and then sat out the rest of the year. But I swore when he came back from injury he finished the year out. So I didn't know.
I just feel like he's like, bro, like you can't be considered an MVP candidate every year you consider for a comeback player. You can't be making an impact every season if you're missing games every season.
Yeah.
But But man, I don't know. What was Aiden Hutchinson's stats this year?
Yeah, 14 and a half sacks.
Because I'm leaning him. Oh man, I should have put some money on him. His over under was 13 and a half for the season. Dang. Um
All right, so
Trevor had a lot of injury problems last year. Aiden Hutchinson had a devastating injury and was on his way to defensive player of the year that year. Um shoot.
Diggs towards ACL,
Diggs tore his ACL, had a really good season this season.
and
Um
I don't remember what happened to Dak.
Dak didn't Dak tear his hamstring?
Yeah, I think that's what it was because I could not remember what his injury was, but I know he only played 8 games last year.
Because the Cowboys didn't do anything winning wise,
Hmm.
I don't think he should get it. He had a really good season though, but I don't think he should get it. I'm leaning Hutchinson. Hutchinson is one of my favorite defensive players in football, so this is a little bit of bias being involved. Yes, people, I actually do root for some Caucasian players. But yeah, he's one of my favorite players to watch in football.
Hmm.
Him coming back 14 and a half sacks off of that kind of injury, where, they were hoping that he could have came back for the Super Bowl if they would have made it. So yeah, no, I'm a lean Hutchinson on that.
Homer again because my thing, I was leaning. Yeah, I was like, I picking Trevor because that's who I picked at the beginning of the year anyway. But it was like Christian McCaffrey almost had 2,000 all-purpose yards. So I think he ran for like 1,400, and then he almost had 1,000 yards receiving. It was like, but Trevor coming back from the concussion and an injury to his shoulder. Yeah, the he had to have surgery on his shoulder, and then leading a team that was supposedly gonna only have that should have won. They're projected to win, I think 7. I think their over under was like seven and a
Seven
half,
and a half, seven
and
and a half.
and they win 13. And he had that incredible stretch. I can't go against who I picked when the season started because I think I said it. I was like, he ain't gonna. Is like if there's anything that he's got to be nominated for, it's got to be comeback player of the year if he plays well. So yeah, that's gonna be my pick.
Yeah, I'm not mad at that. I think your case for him is stronger than the coach of the year case. So I ain't mad at that. All right, next defensive rookie of the year.
So you got Abdul Carter, Nick. Um,
Did Abdul Carter play?
yes, apparently he finished the year with 4 sacks.
You know, last year, dude with 4.5 sacks got defensive player of the year. So why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not? Why
It's
not?
like,
His teammate, who was also a rookie, got 8 sacks. So
so it's a Nick Emenwari for Seattle defense safety, James Pierce Jr. Falcons defensive end, Carson Schwechsinger, Cleveland Browns linebacker, and Xavier Watts, Falcon safety.
I feel like one of us picked James Pierce for defensive rookie of the year.
I know it wasn't me. I picked Abdul Carter because that was the only guy that I can think of.
I feel like one of us did, or he was mentioned. So because I feel like he was mentioned, that's who I'm going to go with. I think he had double digit sacks.
um, um, I'm gonna go. Say my reasoning don't make no sense, but I'm gonna go with
Abdul Carter because
no,
four sack ass niggas just got defensive rookie of the
no, no. What's it
year.
called? I'm gonna go with Nick Emenwari because he was the only player that played on the that's on this list that's played on a playoff team. It just feels like this year's defensive player of the year or defensive rookie of the year is just pick some fucking names out of a hat and just get it over with.
Yeah, no, I feel like Pierce Jr.'s name was mentioned, so I'm gonna put him in
So your
there.
reason is that who I think we
I,
talked about him.
my reason is I think I might have picked him. I just don't remember it. And because this is a podcast and we did zero prep on this, that's what I'm going with.
Because I, I was looking at stats and I didn't even write anything down. I just clicked on their names like and then moved on to the next name. So yeah,
Yeah, so whatever,
let's move on to the next one.
All right, let's go with offensive rookie of the year.
So Jackson Dart,
Yeah,
um,
absolutely not.
Emeka Mbuka, Travion Henderson, Tedroy McMillan, and Tyler Shuck.
Wait, no, you didn't say Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, I did say Tyler Shuck, the guy who couldn't keep Spencer Rattler on the bench. Yeah, I picked him. No, I said him. I'm not picking him. I said him
How in the world? This has to be the weakest rookie of the year season of all time.
because you got Jackson Dart.
Jackson Dart and Tyler Shuck should not be on this list. Um, I'm gonna go with Buka because he's the only one I really remember this year. But that was like early in the year where he was like
Mhm.
cooking dudes, and then it seemed like once he started becoming like the guy because everybody was getting hurt, he just vanished.
Yeah,
But he's the only guy I really remember this season, so I'm gonna go with him. I doubt it's gonna be him, but I'm gonna go with him because the other names are. I know the quarterbacks definitely ain't winning it. So he's the only name that I can think of.
but I'm going with Tedroy McMillan only because he led all rookies in receiving yards. I think he's the only rookie receiver to have 1,000 receiving yards.
I'm gonna change my mind. He's
Because
on.
because
He's
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 a
on Carolina, right?
mm-hmm,
Oh shoot, yeah. No, I definitely changed my mind because he was cooking towards the end of the year. I forgot all
yeah,
about him.
yeah. It's Mbuka. The Ibuka finished with 977.
Who had more touchdowns?
I think Tedoroa had 8. I think Ibuka had finished with 6.
They both have mid quarterbacks too. So
Man, what's the name? Yo, stop hating on Baker.
Bryce Young right now I would take over Baker. That's not just me being a hater because yes, I am a known Baker Mayfield hater, but I think just from how Baker kind of fell apart this year after
Mm-hmm.
starting out so fast, and then Bryce Young got better as the season went on.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and to be honest, in that game that they played pretty much for the division, he outplayed Baker. The refs kind of ruined that. So yeah, no,
Yeah.
I would take him over Baker right now. So, but they're both mid though. It's not like they're both fantastic. It's like I didn't do my quarterback stuff this year because to be honest, I didn't really watch much NFL, so I didn't want to put out like disingenuous lists this season. So yeah, let's go. Let's go.
All right.
Defensive player of the year.
Defensive player of the year. So Will Anderson Jr. I'm not even gonna go down the list. It's Miles Garrett.
You got to put him out there.
Nick Bonito, Denver linebacker. Miles Garrett, Cleveland. Aiden Hutchinson, Detroit, and Micah Parsons for Green Bay.
Yeah, Micah, if he would have finished the season, might have had a good case because the Packers didn't win a game after he got hurt. So, but I mean, like you said, it's Miles Garrett. You don't set the sack record and not win it. You don't set a sack record or an interception record and not win it.
Yeah. So we already know who got that one.
All right, offensive rookie of the year.
All right. So offensive player of the year, Drake
I
May,
mean, yeah, we're offensive player of the year, my bad.
the Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nakua, Bijan Robinson, and Jackson Smith and Jigba. I'm gonna go with McCaffrey because, like I said earlier, he had 2,000 all-purpose yards. And basically carried San Francisco.
Um, Now I'm just looking at this Rams game. They got the ball on the 7 yard line with no timeouts and 25 seconds left on their own seven. I think this game is over. Um, um, so, with that being said, oh shoot, Sam Darnold, right, actually win a Super Bowl. Um, with that being said, shoot, I mean, what Puka led in yards, right? Puka.
Let's see, because Njigba had 1,007. He had 119 catches, 1,793 yards, and 10 touchdowns. Yeah, I think um Puka. I think he led the league in receptions with 129, but he had less yards with 17, 15, and the same amount of touchdowns.
I'm gonna go with JSN mostly because I just love how I just like it's tough, man, between him and because they're two of my five favorite receivers in football. So it's tough
Mhm.
to pick between the two of them. For those who might want to know, I guess nobody asked, but my favorite receiver in football is Amon-Ra St. Brown. But the two of them and all three of them have the same thing in common. They make sure they catch the ball.
Yeah.
Before they do anything else, they make sure they catch the ball. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go JSN just because he didn't have as good of a quarterback and as much of a supporting cast.
Yeah, let's say I'm gonna go with McCaffrey. He gotta win one of these. So
Yeah,
he's
he's
not
the, he's the only MVP candidate, so it makes sense. Um, it makes sense that he would be the one to win it, but I'm gonna go with JSN. And the Rams just officially lost.
Okay.
Damn. So and apparently a guy dropped a wide open touchdown catch that would have sealed the game for them. Um anyways, wait, hold on. Isn't Cooper on that on Seattle? Cooper Rush? I mean not Cooper Rush, Cooper Cup.
Yeah, he's on Seattle.
Wow, revenge. Crazy. Um, but anyways, MVP.
So the list is Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, Matthew Stafford.
Personally, I'm going Stafford because there's never been a quarterback who's put up his stat line that didn't win it.
Except Lamar Jackson. But
No, because Lamar Jackson never had 45 passing touchdowns.
yeah, he was close last year, but
He had 41 and I think 4 interceptions,
mm,
um, but yeah, there's nobody who's had 45 more than 45 passing touchdowns, less than 10 interceptions that didn't win it. So, but then from what you also said, there was before Lamar Jackson, there was never anybody who had 40 or more passing touchdowns and less than 5 interceptions that didn't win it. So, so there is that. But
mm, they might give
racism, racism, like, come on, people, come on,
that's
people,
it's gonna be the narrative for now until the end of time.
for people, like let's be real about it.
I think Josh Allen's gonna win it because he cried at the podium. I'm playing. I already know they voted for everybody
We don't
before.
really know that though, do we? Like, do we really know that?
Now,
That's what they say, but do we really know?
I think at the end of the year, somebody had said that somebody who voted for that said that they handed their ballot in already. I think it was like maybe 2 weeks before the season ended.
That
They
don't even make sense.
I
That doesn't even make sense. There was nobody who was a runaway guy for you to even do that. That means
yeah.
you don't take your job seriously. You shouldn't have that vote no more.
So my heart wants to go with Trevor, but there's no way I can pick nobody else. There's no way I can pick anybody but Stafford. There's no way in hell. Like you said, the stat line, there's no way in hell. But like you said, like we already mentioned, we've seen we've seen history not matter toward the narrative.
Yeah, yeah. The issue is, oh man, it's hard to win MVP for the first time. And what I mean by that is like a lot outside of Josh Allen and Christian
Mm,
McCaffrey, the rest of these guys were never MVP candidates. And generally
yeah.
speaking, to be an MVP winner, you got to be in that conversation for multiple seasons. So it would make sense if Josh Allen wins it because of the two people who have been MVP candidates before, Josh Allen has a better case between the two of them. So yeah, it's hard to win MVP for the first time, generally speaking. But when we take away the social norms, like that, when Lamar Jackson won his first one, he was I forget who was all involved, but he was the guy, like one of one or two people who was the first. It was the first time he was an MVP candidate, but
Mm.
his season was so outrageous. You had to, but and so then that's the other part of it. Like When you look at Matthew Stafford's stats at his age, that's unheard of. Because I think he turned 40 this year.
Yeah. And having Puka doesn't hurt either. No, but I get exactly what you're saying.
Well, I mean, not even just Puka, who led the league in touchdowns. Devontae Adams led the league in touchdowns. So
Yeah.
something Aaron Rodgers couldn't find out how to do with him last year. But anyways, and that was his guy that he was familiar with. But anyways,
Man, he got
um,
him halfway through. No, he got him halfway through the season.
um, yeah. So I think Matthew Stafford takes it. All right. So moving from that to the NFL coaching hires. Um, the coaching hires. How does Mike McCarthy get a football job?
How does how does Stefanski have a job right now as well?
No, Stefanski having a job makes sense because even though he's been horrible the last two seasons winning wise, he does have and he did turn the Browns around to a respectable franchise for a couple years. Even though he never won consistently there, he did win Coach of the Year twice. Him being in Atlanta is what doesn't make sense. You think the Atlanta fans are going to embrace a guy who crapped on Shador Sanders for 17 for no, I'm sorry, for 25 weeks? Because I think that's about how many weeks there is from the draft to the end of the season. That's puzzling to me. John Harbaugh getting a job the second he left Baltimore. Like
Jesus.
I mean, literally, he walked out of the Baltimore building and got into a New York yellow cab and was signing papers in New York. He was sabotaging his joint for the because the most egregious coaching move I've ever seen in my life was not putting your best offensive player in the game for a full quarter when he's the best running back in football, arguably. He this last season, anyways. He's been the best running back in football the last 5 seasons. If you like accumulate what he's done over the last 5 seasons, and you're like, oh, Lamar's hurt. Who cares? Let's just not run the ball. Up 11.
And somehow you find yourself with a job immediately.
Tell you, man. I'm telling you, man. This does not make any sense, man. Aaron Glenn still having a job is still puzzling, but we're focusing on the hires. We're focusing on the hires this week, Lando. We're not focusing on who should have been fired. Who else got hired?
So Robert Sala going to Tennessee.
Robert Sala getting hired for a head coaching job is absolutely nonsensical.
Yeah.
What is he about to do? You saw what he did with the Jets. I'm not. Cam Ward is a better player than Zach Wilson was. Don't get me wrong,
Mhm.
but it's not like he was incredible this season. It's not like he really showed much flashes of being incredible this season. And you have so much to build up. Robert Sala went to New York and they had an average roster. The Titans roster, when I did my evaluations, I think was the third worst roster, and they showed it. I don't
And
know.
he got to play Liam Cohen twice a year. We saw what happened when they saw it.
I mean, he might
He's like,
dot him up though. But the thing about him is he's going into a division that isn't known for having consistent winning. The problem is every single team in that division is significantly more talented than you. The Jaguars, the
The
Texans,
Texans and the Colts,
and the Colts, if they can figure out a quarterback, significantly better than y'all.
because they already got the running back on the line.
And they have a good defense, really good defense. So yeah, no, I don't see how you're gonna turn that franchise around. But again, it's immediate impact. Can he immediately impact that defense who was very poor last year? If he can, then they have a shot to win multiple games. I want to see what the win totals are going to be next season after the next 3 weeks. Because yeah, that's when the Super Bowl will be commencing. So we got a Super Bowl rematch as well, Seattle and New England, for the third time.
No, second. No, see,
Yeah. Seattle went against the Steelers the one time. I'm
mhm.
thinking of.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Jeff Halfley went to Miami.
yeah. He was the
D coordinate,
DC
yeah,
for
for Green Bay.
Green Bay. I never heard his name until he got hired.
I didn't even know he was a candidate until he got hired.
Yeah, that's why I'm like, okay, like that was interesting.
And
I'm like, every why is every single guy who's getting hired you never heard of a certain complexion?
and Baltimore hired Jesse Minter. He was the D coordinator for the Chargers.
That's good. That's a
Yeah,
good. That's a good hire. That defense is really good.
yeah. Yeah, what's it called? Um, it seems like that's the only good one.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays out because like I said, this season the rookie head coach is like winning a lot of games is not common. So we'll see how it plays out because it sounds like what is it? Three rookie head coaches again this year. The
One, two.
Miami, Baltimore, and I feel like you named another one.
No, I got all the if one of the remaining four hire a first time head
So
coach.
it's only two so far.
Yeah, it's only two so
Okay.
far because I wrote down Oakland because Vegas, Cleveland, Buffalo, and Arizona don't have coaches yet. And of course the best available job is Buffalo because of Josh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the other ones I feel like are up in the air because because what's it called with
Arizona,
Vegas.
Arizona's a horrible job because their team isn't very talented, and you don't know what's going on with the quarterback.
Vegas, there's like you have some talent, but but there's a bunch of rumors that they're willing to deal Max Crosby, your best defensive player.
I don't think that. I mean, I don't think because the offensive line is garbage. The defensive line outside of Crosby is garbage. The safeties or the defensive backs were mid. Linebackers were not very good. I don't think the Raiders are a very good talented team either. They got Bowers and Genty, who raw talent. I mean, on the field, it didn't really translate to a whole lot for Genty, but he needs an offensive line. I think if they can fix the line, they could be good. But I don't think that team is very talented as of right now. We'll see what they do in the offseason. But they got to get a coach first.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
And then Cleveland, you got
Cleveland's a dumpster fire.
and
It's the worst job available.
you still have Deshaun Watson on that team under contract.
Yeah, it's the worst job available.
You can't
Because
even.
Deshaun Watson, as bad as he was, Deshaun Watson and Shador Sanders are the two best quarterbacks on the team. And Shador, though he showed flashes, he was below average for the most part. Now we could say that was coaching because he had a coach that didn't believe in him. But then, and that might be, and like with Stefanski, what quarterback has he really turned around? Because he's always operated on a strong run game. So now that when the Browns didn't have a strong run game, he struggled because he didn't turn around Baker. He didn't turn. He didn't. His guy was Dylan Gabriel. He who he played for a player already. And Shador Sanders, like I say, he played well in spots, but he wasn't very good for the most part, for at least from what I watch. Um,
I think for Buffalo, they need to just bring back Dayball because I forgot somebody was talking about it when the GM, when Buffalo's not GM, the Buffalo's owner said what he said at the press conference.
yeah,
Um, Somebody has said, "Yo, it better be a veteran head coach that shows up that takes that job because he's going to be ready to throw a rookie under the bus."
the fact that you threw Keon Coleman under the bus, who was an average college football player, put up average combine numbers, but because you liked him, you picked him second round. Now he's a guy you should have on your team. He is the guy you should have on your team. He's a great locker room guy. But yeah, like replacing Stephon Diggs with him wasn't very wise. And I love him. I love the guy. I think he's a solid wide receiver. But he has concentration lapses. So yeah, no, that's what I want to know what I want to know is so far in this coaching cycle, I don't think there's been any black head coaches signed.
Mhm. I think the only one who's actually been formally interviewed was Flores, but that was for the Baltimore job, and that's been filled.
Which makes absolutely no sense because though they did get a defensive coordinator, they did get a defensive coordinator. You had a guy, Flores was perfect for two jobs. Pittsburgh because they were familiar with him and then they liked him.
Mm.
Baltimore because they desperately need help on defense. And from what I heard, the way he wants to run his offense, which is similar to what he tried to do in Miami, was pound the football down your throat. And who better than to have that style than with Derrick Henry and the greatest running quarterback of all time, who has improved exponentially as a passer the last 2 years. I don't
And
even understand that.
and I wonder if I wonder if if anybody's going to try to approve collusion um because of his lawsuit.
I mean, lawsuit's over. He already got paid. So it's like, oh, it's over.
No. It's even though it's over, who's to say?
No, I'm saying, like, why would the owners even still be on that? It even had, it's not like the teams that he interviewed for were involved in the lawsuit. So it's just like,
You remember that? You remember
that's
that good old
weird.
boys club?
Man,
Like
man.
I know you were trying, but that but that good old boys club, you completely forgot.
No, I didn't. It's always racism. Understand that. This is
because
about to change the podcast name to It's Always Racism Podcast.
like because when you think about it, it's like even though those teams weren't involved, the owners are still going to stick together regardless. So it's like because it's not I don't it's not necessarily the same thing, but Kaepernick is like the whole situation with Kaepernick. I know it's not the same thing because he's a player and he was on the downside of his career at that point, but it was like they did everything they could. They showed the team showed that they didn't want him by getting players that were less talented, way less talented than he was. When Nate, when you got Kaepernick, when you have Kaepernick sitting right there in front of your face, and then you decide to sign a guy like Nathan Peterman, when I think the Baltimore owner was talking about, he said he was thinking about signing Kaepernick, but then wanted to find out what the fans' opinion was of Kaepernick. You know you don't run your organization on what the fans think.
No, I remember Ray Lewis is mad at Kaepernick because he actually convinced ownership to give him a shot and he turned it down. I don't know. But yes, you're right. The Kaepernick thing does lead to should lead us to believe that the owners would do some mess like that. Um, what can I say?
Yeah.
It's always. Um,
It's the Rooney Rule in effect.
so with the Rooney Rule, the way to get around it is just to interview you don't have to hire it. Like it's not the rule isn't to hire black head coaches, or black coaches, or even interview coaches for the job. Like I just don't understand how a guy can lose his job because he's losing and then walk into another job. That's the thing. Like you lost your job due to performance. This isn't like a regular job where
Mm.
like you can just lie about, like, let's say you're a salesperson, you just lie and be like, yo, I was a top 3 salesperson. I produced results. I was doing this, doing that. It's not like they go back and fact check these things, right? We see
Mhm.
results on national television.
It's in front of everybody.
It's on every website, every newspaper. We can see what you did. We watched you not put Derrick Henry for a full quarter on prime time television
What the fuck you think he gonna do with Cam Scatterboo?
off a broken leg. What do you think Stefanski's gonna do when he's got Shador Sanders 2.0 at quarterback?
He got Shador in the do rag.
Oh my. But here's the thing though. Here's the funny thing though.
Mm.
If he is the head coach,
Mm.
if he I mean he is the head coach, but because he's the head coach, I'm rooting heavy for Atlanta. Here's why. There was a time when I used to gamble.
Mm-hmm.
I still gamble. But I didn't do much this year. But there was a time when I used to gamble. And there was a young man named Nick Chubb. And under Kevin Stefanski, in divisional games, he was good for a touchdown every single time. And against a certain team known as the Cincinnati Bengals, he was good for 100 yards and or 2 touchdowns. I don't
Oh.
know who that team is going to be in the NFC South, but Bijan about to make me something next year. Because as a talent, he's better than Nick Chubb. As a raw talent, he's better than Nick Chubb. The offensive line the team is actually set up very similar to prime Stefanski with the Browns. He just needs to figure out the defense, which they have a guy in Pierce Jr. who they can build around. He ain't Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett is a monstrosity, but he's a hell of a player. So we'll see. So I'm going to be rooting for Stefanski, even though I don't care for what he did with the Browns, because I need that bread. I need to replenish. Need to replenish these funds. But Cam Newton had mentioned something about these former black players don't get to just walk into NFL jobs. They always have to go through the ranks. Deion Sanders is one of the greatest players of all time. He had to go through the ranks. Now, to be honest, from how Colorado looked last year, it might have been better that he did. But at the same time, why don't the black players, former black players, just get to walk into jobs? Because did Deion struggle last season with and actually really his first season as well. 2 out of 3 seasons with Colorado have been struggles. So you look at that and you be like, yeah, that's why he shouldn't have gotten a head coaching job. But then why is Phillip Rivers getting entertained?
Yeah.
He did Phil Rivers go through the ranks? I guess he had a high school football team, but then his rank should be going to college and then coming up to the NFL. Not, hey, let's give you Josh Allen, one of the 3 best quarterbacks in football.
Because there was this lady who even said, who she mentioned, she was like, if you want a guy who has like you want a guy that's gone to a Super Bowl, or if you even try to get a backup that's gone to a Super Bowl that has the coaching experience, why hasn't anybody attempted to even hire Byron Leftwich? It's not like he doesn't have the experience.
Brian Clark mentioned that Phillip Rivers is getting interviews, and Byron Leftwich, who coached Tom Brady, who won a Super Bowl, I think he did, as
Yeah,
a
he did.
coordinator, and he's not getting entertained by anybody. Apparently, his name has not come up in any interviews.
None.
What what did I tell y'all?
It's always it's
Always.
always racism
It's
because
always
it makes absolutely no sense. Philip Rivers did,
meritocracy, though, right? That's why we need DEI. That's why we need the Rooney Rule. Because Philip Rivers happens when there is no DEI, where there is no Rooney Rule, which the Rooney Rule
because
essentially is DEI. But they find ways around it. They've always found ways around it. Well, we interviewed this guy for third assistant to the third assistant to the kicking coach. Um, Last season, he was the defensive coordinator for the top 4 defense in the league. He's not even a kicker. He's a former linebacker. How is he going to help your kicking team? Why do you have that many assistant coaches for your kicking?
yeah, I was just gonna ask. You said the third assistant to the kicking coach. It's like, who the fuck is that?
We, we interviewed a black dude, though, or a minority.
I'm saying it's like, yo, he's like, who you hire? He's like, who would you interview? Oh yeah, that guy. It's like he wasn't even allowed to come to the facility. He's like, wait. He only showed up if anybody else got sick, and they were healthy as an ox. I'm just saying. He don't know how to get to the facility, but we interviewed him though.
We did a phone interview. It was a text message through text message. Just
we sent a letter and say we sent a letter and say,
do
hey
you
man,
like me? Yes or no? Check the box.
he's like, he got a text and said, we may be interested. He texts back, who is this? He said, we moved on.
Do you want the job? Reply 1 for yes, 2 for no.
Who is this? I guess that's a no.
It's a block number too.
Yeah, he tried to call it. He tried to call it. He got a Atlantic Bell dial tone.
He
Like,
got, he got the Taco Bell downtown, let alone the Atlantic Bell. He
oh
got
my
the
goodness.
Taco Bell joint. Like,
It's
bro,
like,
bro got gorditas. Bro got gorditas in the mail.
yo, that dude got that dude called the old number to IBM.
Bro,
Oh man, shoot.
he called the number back. It was a Toys R Us. Like,
He called 1-800 collect.
he dialed 10. He had to dial 10 10 3 2 1 to get. You remember that joint? Girl, you had to put in 10 10 for everything. Oh man, it was cheaper than collect calls. 10 10 5 6 9. What is that?
It's like you got a call from. It's like,
A correctional facility.
would you like to accept the charges? No.
Guess he didn't want the job. See, that's his problem.
It's like, but who did I call? He's like, he's like, but we did our interview. Here's his name on the list. It's like, what? What type of Lillian Vernon shit is this?
Or or they probably already got the job. They gave the job to somebody else. They just didn't announce it. They just sent some interviews out, knowing that they was never gonna. The person never had a chance.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of like when I tried out for our high school basketball team, and then the coach told me, "Oh, you couldn't, you need to work on some things on defense," and nobody scored a single basketball basket on me, and I got steals and blocks. Like, dang, what else is defense? What I'm saying, I'm getting steals, blocks, assists. Oh, you didn't work on your defense. Your top scorer didn't score a basket on you. You had to guard him the whole time. I'm trying to find that out. But it's like, oh, the guy who was too sick to try out made the team. Oh, why didn't you tell us ahead of time your roster was ready? I could have went home.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Why didn't you tell us ahead of time that, I never had a chance to get in the head coaching job. You were just doing this as a courtesy. And that same dude, the next time we saw each other in PE class, I did him up. I made sure and we could never play on the same team ever again. And I'm guarding him every time. And we was cool. He was a friend of mine. Not really a friend of mine, but we was cool. Nah, dog, not no more. Because you got my spot.
It's like you had
Because you had mud butt, they felt sorry for you and you made the team. Okay.
It's like, yo, you had 50 some students try out for 2 spots. It's like, the fuck are we supposed to do with this?
Yeah. So yeah, and it's 100 coaching candidates, and you fighting for one, and as a black guy, you fighting from the bottom anyways.
Yep.
And then people want to complain about DEI. It's like, okay, well, people ain't getting a fair shake when there ain't no DEI.
Exactly.
For some reason, DEI, y'all mad about DEI with everything except when ICE pull up. How that makes sense? Now you like, oh, you want to be diverse? You got an accent? To snatch him up. You got complexion, snatch him up. You got hair color, snatch them up. They mad diverse. They mad diverse with that. For some reason, they all for DEI with that. They need all the diversities. Unbelievable. Oh, we shot a white woman last week. Let's shoot a white man this week. Show them that we fair. Anybody can get it. We the can men. African deported. Dominican reported. Mexican deported. American deported. Oh no, we got to bring him back. I'm sorry. And then don't even get an apology. Okay. Why was you hanging around them?
Yeah, they bring him back. They bring him back. Like, let me not see your face again. Like, I was watching The Price is Right, and you snatched me out of my home.
Out my own house.
You didn't even knock. You just kicked the door in.
You kicked the door in and asked to see my papers. Like, bro, where's your Star David, nigga? Like, oh, okay. If y'all don't get the reference, read your history books.
No, they punched him in his face, and David was seeing stars. He's like dragged out his lifeless body, and then shot somebody then shot somebody else. It's like, get back in your goddamn house. Like, what's it called? The Dave Chappelle skit where the white dude didn't do anything wrong, but he got arrested, and the dog was sitting there doing nothing. It's like, shut that fucking dog up. That's what he do to American citizens. They just standing there recording, shut that fucking dog up.
Bro said on camera, he's like, you a citizen? He's like, yeah, I'm a citizen. Oh, why do you think I'm not a citizen? Listen to your accent. Bro had the same accent. Like, yo, what is he like? Oh, I know. So it's like, yo, I know my people. You definitely not legal. I hear you. I'm listening.
It's like, if you black, it's like, if you dark enough, you Somalian.
Bro had the same Hispanic accent. So like, I hear your accent. And you like, what? You got an accent too, bro. And you like, they snatched him up. All right, why you revealing my secrets, nigga?
Yo, all this talking about the Rooney Rule.
Nah, because the diversity, inclusion. What is it? Diversity, equity, and inclusion. They like we diverse. We snatch up all shades of brown people. And we'll shoot any shade that want to help them. We will shoot any shade that like them. And then there's white people like, oh, yeah, well, they're killing white people. Like, yeah, you know what? So did the freaking people that killed those, what was it? The two black dudes and the white guy. You know, they used to call them nigger lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can die with them. That's what they're doing. Oh, okay, you can die with them. You can get snatched up with them. Oh, you like them? Okay, come here. Come here. We Scorpion today. Get over here. Equity, or we gonna treat all y'all equal? You is straight or brown? Gotcha. Oh, you male, female, child? Gotcha. And the inclusion? Oh, y'all wanna act like you one of them? Have you seen the color of your skin? Included.
You thought you could step in and ask what's going on? Included. You drove by? Included.
Included. Okay. Let me shoot you in the face while we at
it. It's like, yo, she drove by the scene. She's a domestic terrorist.
Lady said, oh, you guys got to stop it. He shoves it to the ground and he gets in between them. Oh, you want to get in between them? Back. And hold on. We're not done. We need two more. Like we the Dudley boys. We got Leon, Debo, and who was the other one? Who was the little one?
You said Leon the Devo,
What was their name? Devon. Devon.
Devon, Bubba Ray,
Devon
and
Bubba
Spike.
Ray. Spike.
He said, "Yo, this,
Yeah, it's
he
been a
brought up
minute.
extras from Sinners."
Yeah, Devon and Bubba Ray. Oh, get the table.
It's like, ain't you gonna invite me in?
And bro, like they was like, but they don't say get the table. They say get the pistol.
It's like the
He had
first.
a gun. He had a gun. You was 80 out on him, ripping him apart. Dude was being drawn and quartered, and they like he had a gun. Shoot. What?
It's like you saw in the video, you literally took his gun off his
That was
waist.
holstered. That was holstered. They're like, oh, but
Hand, hands was nowhere near his waist. His hand, he he was holding his phone. Looked like he was covering up his face with the other hand, and somehow he became a threat enough for you to give him 6 to 10 body shots.
here,
Okay,
here's the issue.
and pistol whipped him.
Here's the issue that comes into hand. I know this is a horrible segue to this, but here's the issue that comes up. Everybody's comparing this to Nazi Germany. I want us to stop comparing this to Nazi Germany. And the reason is because this stuff has happened in America before. I just told y'all in the 60s, this is post World War II. The Ku Klux Klan was killing people. The Ku Klux Klan was snatching people out their cribs. Still in the 60s. Maybe as far as the government is concerned, maybe that's the thing that's the comparison. But when you can just label people domestic terrorists, I've said this before when it came to white people and them talking about like George Floyd situations and everybody who keeps saying, why don't you comply? Because compliance keeps you safe. But compliance keeps you safe until you can't tolerate something, until they do something that you can't tolerate and you can't comply with. So, for example, the commander in chief was BFFs with a child sexual predator. So, when you have these things, when you see these things, and at some point you like, all right, we know that these people are liars, but let's say you draw the line at sexual child predators, child sexual predators. Like, yo, like I can't rock with nobody who co-signs with these people. If that person's in a position of power, what's to stop him from saying that you're a terrorist? That you're a whatever. You're a treason. You're a traitor to the country. You're a traitor to this. You're a traitor to that. So then they end up forcing compliance on you, and then you have things like the people who would hide the Jews
Mm-hmm.
or the Underground Railroad, where there was a lot of abolitionists, white abolitionists that were making ways for black people to become free. Those are the things that happen. And then y'all like, so y'all over here talking about compliance, but compliance is what led America or how should I say this? people standing up for their rights is not compliant. That's what America was built on, standing up for your rights. So when you see people standing up for your rights, just because you align with that particular party doesn't mean like it's like everybody, and this is why I hate Americans right now. Because as long as you co-sign the political party, everything that they do is okay. You just throw all your morals out of the way for tribalism.
At this point, you're part of a cult.
Until the cult turns on you. Because you know what I'm saying? Because at some point, you're like, okay, yeah, like, oh yeah, this cult is great. They're talking about the Lord and whatever religious belief they have. And all of a sudden he's like, yeah, you have to give me your 8-year-old daughter to be my wife. You got to make a decision.
Now you ain't compliant no more because you ain't giving up your 8-year-old to no grown ass man.
And then, yeah. And now what? Now a lot of these cults don't do that, but what if they take it there? Okay, well, you either do this or you got to go.
And I don't mean you lose your membership.
Yeah, I mean you lose your life over this. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, yo, the man stepped in because this guy is assaulting a woman that's just protesting, that's giving her free speech. So now, because Charlie Kirk got done up, y'all think that nobody should be safe for the free speech, but you ain't got to say that's what he fought for. He didn't fight for it. He certainly didn't fight for it because he wasn't doing no fighting. But y'all like, that's what he stood for. Okay, then. So if he stood for the right to protest, why is every time someone protests against the reprehensible things that these people are doing, you got a problem with it? Y'all let these two white men in power, J.D. Vance and Donald Trump, who's shooting the club up and foreign women telling y'all that foreigners are the problem. How does that make any sense? You got a dude, JD Vance, who's shooting the club up against a not, at least Trump, even though his wife is foreign, at least she's Caucasian. His wife ain't even Caucasian. And you like, oh, you don't have to apologize for being white anymore. Like, what? When was that a thing?
No, he was apologizing every time he shot the club up. I'm sorry, I'm white.
Oh, the leftists are calling Donald Trump a Nazi. His co-signer called him a Nazi. The only person I've seen on video who is in the political realm that called Donald Trump a Nazi was the guy he chose to be his vice president. And y'all ignore all of that because he's your master. I'm like, yo, y'all need to love, as much as y'all say y'all love Jesus, you voted for him because of Christian values. I can't think of a single Christian value that Donald Trump ever stood for. But yet here y'all are. And now this gentleman lost his life. He was a nurse. He was somebody who saved lives or helped save lives on a daily basis. And now he's gone from this world because he tried to save a life. And y'all saying, well, if he would have complied, if that was your daughter who was getting shoved to the ground, what would you do? If that was your wife getting shoved to the ground, what would you do?
You just stand there and be like, hey, take all that pepper spray to the face. And now they're trying to, and now
And the second anybody who steps in, they're a domestic terrorist.
he is like he tried to protect somebody. He's the one that got beat on. He's the one that got dragged to the ground, and he was the one who got shot. He is like he could have showed up, brandished his weapon, and started clapping folks, and then got shot. Then got shot up, but he didn't do that
That's the danger, though. That I need people to understand that how dangerous that this can get for ICE.
because somebody can get fed up, and then while they're doing all that, they can get shot and killed.
They start beaming niggas up. They start thinking they freezer.
Death beam.
And I'm not wishing that on nobody, but I'm like, at some point, people fight against their oppressors. It's been happening throughout history. You know, there was something. You know, something funny. During the French Revolution, the French were just guillotining everybody, like anybody who had position of power. They ended up one of the last people they guillotined was the guy who was the main guillotiner. They were like, "Yeah, we don't like how you cutting heads off so easy, dog. Get up under there." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that can happen. Like, okay, like at some point, and then like I said, so it's that's why that video where the guy was like, "Yo, if Donald Trump said to shoot this mall up and I happen to be at the mall," and his own father was like, "Well, then you deserve it."
Mm-hmm.
That's why like people's like, I can't believe he's just doing that for show. No, we're seeing people do that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not with us, you against us. And it's just like, but opposition doesn't mean that we hate you. Donald Trump said he hates his political opponents. So that's why. All right, so let me just give y'all an example on how ICE is raiding Minnesota. Minnesota's a blue state. The states that have had the biggest immigration problems have been border states. So New Mexico, Arizona, Texas. There's no ICE being sent there. You don't see people kicking doors in there. But those are the states. So he's doing this specifically. They got ICE in New York. They had ICE in what's the spot?
Chicago.
Chicago. Apparently they're supposed to be sending ICE to oh man, I forget. I think it was Atlanta. But it's just like, and they're sending the National Guard to Baltimore, and they had, of course, DC. They had them in, and they're talking about sending National Guard to all these other blue cities. And it's just like that. That's all this is. And then when you create an enemy, and then you call them terrorists and things of that nature, and then you get your base believing in them. Like at some point, people are gonna like this. This is gonna start looking like the freaking Hunger Games. And y'all letting this happen. And then you excuse everything. Somebody was like, I talked about this guy on our podcast. He posts his posters like Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, um, Joe Biden deported more people than Donald Trump did. And I'm like, there was no video of of American citizens getting gunned down over it. There's no video of American citizens getting assaulted over this, over even illegal immigrants being assaulted and beat down and battered over this. There's none of that happening. How can you even compare this?
Especially,
Go ahead.
especially when you only giving folks that watch nothing but Duke Boys a Hazard 47 days to train. And basically it's like, here's a gun, here's a badge, and here's a cell phone powered by Verizon. You go ahead and do what it is that you want to do.
So it's like, yo, like this is problematic. This is problematic. And for some reason, y'all don't see anything wrong with this because you fueled by racism.
You
You're
have
fueled
somebody
by
in the
racism.
office. You got somebody in the office that is tugging at your heartstrings on how you really feel.
Everybody who is co-signing everything that Donald Trump is doing, it's only revealing who you've always been. Yeah, you was cool with the black people at your job. But now everything you post is something anti-black, anti-minority. Why is that? Because you've been a racist. You don't want to feel like you're a racist, but you've been a bigot. You don't want to be called that, but that's what you are. That's what you've always been. Because, like I said, at some point, like y'all are, and then it's like the issue I have is the whataboutisms. I remember I did a speech in a public speaking class, and I was talking about um, video vixens, and I was like, "Yo, like we gotta like calm down the thong booty shaking." And this black dude goes, "What about Hugh Hefner?" And I was like, "So first of all, Hugh Hefner's material are labeled as adult only.
Mm-hmm.
They sell them in adult. You got to show ID to get them." Buffy, I'm seeing Buffy the Body as a teenager on TV in right after school, and not Buffy the Body wasn't twerking or nothing like that. But that's what my point was. Like these video vixens, like you seeing them do, have these sexual like dances and things of that nature. They with with in broad daylight. And so it's like, oh, well, what about? And I'm like, well, that's not even comparable. But even if it was comparable, why do you think that we should do it because white people do it? If we did stuff like just because white people did it, half of Africa would have been eliminated by the bubonic plague because white people were letting mice run around and buy their food and stuff. If we were doing stuff just because white people did it, we would have went to African kingdoms would have went to kingdoms and snatched their people up and made them slaves.
Mm-hmm.
Like so when it comes to like the Republicans and Democrats, oh well, and you see this with Republicans like, well, I thought you're supposed to be better. I thought you doing better. No, no, I'm sorry, they are better. I'm, okay, this is how he did it. We're gonna do it this most horrible possible because it's better and it's getting results. And I promise y'all, it's not gonna be the results y'all want. Then all of a sudden America's gonna be under martial law. And as a great American philosopher, young Jeezy once said, and then what? You ain't gonna have no yams to hide in your auntie's house.
Mm-mm.
Because Trump's killing the farming anyways. I didn't vote for this. Yes, you did. Oh my gosh, a corporate billionaire who took advantage of the poor and disenfranchised all the time. He's absolutely gonna be for me. Kamala Harris put black people into prison. Okay, if they did crimes, why not? Y'all want them to be there anyways. Why is that a gripe? Y'all called police on the black people for no reason, just for standing in front of their own house. He looks suspicious. You put these people in jail anyways. So why you mad that Kamala put them in there? Because Kamala put, and that is, I heard it wasn't even that like true, like what, like the rate that they were trying to put out there wasn't even
Mhm.
true. So I'm like, okay, you'll believe that Michelle Obama is transgender with no evidence, but with all these little bits of evidence that Trump is inappropriate with young ladies. Y'all ignore all that. He's the one who turned them all in. Yeah, that's what rats do. They do crimes with you and then turn on you when the pressure comes. Him giving evidence and then, oh yeah, we're gonna release the Epstein files and redact everybody's name except Bill Clinton, even though it was shown. But like I said, there's gonna be one day soon. America's gonna be under martial law. And then you're gonna be like, oh snap, maybe those people was right. Maybe he really is trying to be like, because the whole Venezuela Greenland thing, that's just him being jealous because Putin's doing his thing over there in the Ukraine. China's doing the same thing with Taiwan. Got people on TV saying they're on our hemisphere. It's still America. And things shouldn't be happening in America, whether it's North America or South America. This is our hemisphere. What the hell? That don't sound like some World War. That don't sound like some World War rhetoric there. That don't sound like that to y'all. Our hemisphere? You have no jurisdiction there, sir. Man,
So what do we know? We're just black in America.
I start listening to black people, yo. Like, because we've seen it all before.
We ain't just complaining just to be complaining. We ain't saying shit just to say shit.
Then even the whole like, oh well, America, the illegals are getting food stamps. Okay, let's just say that they are. Let's say there's illegal aliens getting food stamps. You know,
Mm.
it's the old saying, you cut to spite your face. So take everybody off of it because these people are getting it.
Mm-hmm.
And I talk to people. These people be from Oklahoma, from Arizona. They love Donald Trump and this and Nebraska. They love Donald Trump. And these people be calling my phone and being like at my job and being like, yeah, um, they getting rid of my Obama phone. So I need a cell phone. I don't got a free cell phone no more. Yeah, man, times are getting hard. I was supposed to get this I was getting this annual increase on my Social Security every year. I didn't get an increase on my Social Security at all. So I can't afford things because everything's going up.
Mm.
I talk to these people regularly and they're still stupid. They still think he's gonna turn around. Hopefully the president, hopefully the president, once he gets everything in order, we can get back right back to it. But it's gonna hurt a little bit in the beginning because change hurts. I had this old lady tell me that. Lady, you are 93. You're not long for this place. But except for being like I said, a lot of the Republicans, except for being like, hey, no, like this is wrong, they're sitting there saying, well, this president that was a Democrat did something that was kind of similar, and then they look like Reed Richards with the stretching they doing. And then the next thing you know, Trump's gonna be out of office and they all gonna become Sue Richards. Nobody was MAGA. Man, I wasn't MAGA. I'm a Republican. I ain't MAGA. Okay. And I do believe that there is a difference. But the difference might be the difference between a cockroach and a water bug. I don't know.
There is no damn difference.
My point exactly. And don't shoot me. He's the exterminator.
Ain't no
He actually
fucking
studies this stuff. He has
yeah.
to know this stuff to exterminate them.
Yo,
Ain't no difference.
there ain't no fucking difference. It's still a
Maybe I mean,
it's like the only difference is there's only one that only breeds inside. The other ones occasionally come inside from the outside. The only fucking difference. They all roaches. They all die the same. These are freaking bastards. Like you said, their alliance is gonna up and disappear
mm-hmm.
by the time, yeah, when old boy decides he's gonna peel out. But what do I know? Because that's how it always goes. It's like it's like you're up in arms. You wear your flag with pride, and then when they disappear, all of a sudden that was never you in the first place, right? All right.
Yeah, like you never hear nobody say my grandfather was a Nazi. There's gonna be nobody who says my dad was a maggot.
Look at how many folks whenever you bring up slavery, it's like, well, it has nothing to do with me.
Yeah, like you never hear people say, "Oh, my uncle's in the Ku Klux Klan." Like they don't even want to admit that they are. You know what I'm saying? It's like y'all so proud, but you're so proud of it, but yet you'll do everything to hide it. But what would Jesus do?
I'm in on a mule.
And throw the devil into the lake of fire. So that's it. That's it. That's it for us, y'all, man. We love y'all, man. What's your partner shot, Zero?
My parting shot is one of the funniest things I've seen. I just found out it was a skit. I think I shared it with you today, where this girl she she said a dude that said he was a Vietnam vet. She said, "I'm sorry for your boo boos," but but she passed a kidney stone. She was like, yeah, it doesn't compare to her passing a kidney stone and her boyfriend breaking up for 3 years, breaking up with her in a 4 month span. And this dude said, this dude, I know it's a skit. That this dude really said our truck drove over a mine in Danang, and he said I forgot what the guy's name was. It was like I think he said Johnny. He's like he was joking in 1 minute, then the next minute half of his body was hanging from a tree. And he was like, "You ever heard a man scream with no lungs?"
That's insane.
Like what?
That's insane.
He's I was like, I was so dead serious, and then somebody in the comments said, "Yeah, this is a skit." And he's like, "No, there's no way this got to be serious." It was like, "No, it's a skit." It was. Like, she said, "I'm sorry for your boo boos." He said, "Yeah, you ever heard a man scream with no lungs?" Like he said, half his body was hanging from a tree. Like, and, and told the wife about it. She said she really was sitting here trying to figure out if you can scream with no lungs. She was like, I'm actually going to look it up. So there's nothing to look up. Why would you look that up?
That's funny.
That's my part in shot. It was like, yo, don't believe everything you see because I swore to God that was real. And then when somebody said it was a skit, I found the video. That thing is only 3 minutes and 31 seconds long. It's like, yeah, they ain't no way in hell. Because she said the first topic was my suffer is I'm suffering just as much as you are. Because he said I've suffered from night terrors. And she said I'm sorry for your boo boos. Night terrors or boo boos. That's my part in shot, yo.
My parting shot is um the great American philosopher Childish Gambino once said, "This is America." And this is what America has become. And it's so funny where everybody wants to fight until it's time to fight. These ICE agents gonna like these ICE agents about to be in some big trouble, man. These ICE agents, they doing a lot. And you just gotta pray for their families that they can, you know, do something. But who knows? They probably all the racist people that just vanished. The Proud Boys and all that other stuff that just vanished. They probably all in the group now.
Mm-hmm. Touching each other.
And and it just goes to show like, you know, that there's that no matter how old a white person is, they'll always be seen as a kid. And no matter how young a black person or person of color is, they'll always be considered a man. Because ICE detains a 5-year-old child on his way home from school. Yet 30-plus-year-old men are making jokes about being Nazis and loving his Hitler. And one person they acknowledge that they were a child, but that they were old enough to understand what was going on. And the other, they're acknowledged as kids making all kids make these kind of jokes. I ain't never made no jokes about exterminating Caucasians. But whatever, man. Y'all voted for this. I just want y'all to know that. This is y'all fault. Actually, I shouldn't say y'all. I don't think anybody who listens to this podcast voted for that guy. So yeah. And when people are like not being friends with people because they voted for Trump, I'm like, I don't agree with that. But if they excusing all the stuff from Trump, yeah, you probably made the right decision. Probably made the right decision not being friends with that person.
Hmm.
So my parting shot is, what would Jesus do? If you're a real Christian and you think this is the behaviors that Jesus would handle, we don't need to be associated anymore. But that's it for us. Thank y'all so much for watching and or listening. We love y'all. We'll see you next week.